Showtime.
Welcome, everyone, to the Rosie and Bill Show. Our guest this week is an incredibly talented singer-songwriter who blazed a trail from Oklahoma to Nashville, and her music, it's on fire. Please welcome to the Rosie and Bill Show a rising star who's true to her music, true to who she is, and she loves what she does, Allie Colleen. Allie, welcome to the show.
Wow, I don't know who wrote that bio you just read off, but that was very kind. How are you guys?
We are great, and Bill is ultra uber talented when it comes to writing intros. So all the credit goes to him. He's fabulous, and he takes a lot of time because it's really important to him to really honor our guests. So it's
thanks, Bill. Thank you.
Yes,
you're welcome.
Before we get started, I have to ask you. We see a Christmas tree. I see a skeleton. What is going on back there?
I don't know how much you guys can see of it, but you know, when you think about those people that are Christmas people, I'm a Halloween person. So I've got a skeleton on top of my tree, but he's also got a little friend over here. And from just like an accumulation of Halloween props and fun things, last year I had like a skeleton that like through the spinal cord you could drink like orange juice and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so one of them's got some orange juice and one of them's partaking, but this is my spooky tree.
I love that. Now, or do you like really put a lot of time into your costumes each year?
I do. So I'm obsessed with Halloween. It's my favorite thing. And I love just becoming whatever you want to become, right? It's kind of what I've done as a career. I got to become Allie Colleen and do all those things that I love to do and make music and stuff like that. So all that to say, I also do like specifically gore, but I do a lot of cosplay stuff as well on my other socials.
So you're a horror flick chick, huh?
Oh, I am, but I'm a baby. Rosie, I'm so scared of everything. I like to know how the scenes work. I like to know how the makeup works. I like to know how they wrote it. But the first time I watch a scary movie, I will watch it. You're going to hate me. I will watch it on mute with subtitles. I'll watch it on mute with subtitles and just figure out what happens. And then after a couple of times, I'll like really watch it. I'm the worst.
God bless you, because I am not good. I love thrillers and suspense movies and all of that. But if I can't handle the gore. I can't get it out of my head. Even though
the older I get, I can't handle it either. Honestly, it makes me uncomfortable. But like, I'm a Halloween girl. Like, I watched like the original Halloween when I was really, really little. And then I've just really followed that saga kind of thing. And I really love it. But I haven't watched the one that came out this year. So don't ask me about it.
Oh, well, you got to see it. I mean, I haven't seen it. I won't see those movies because, like I said, I'm a big scaredy cat. But anyway. But I'm sure it's worth seeing. Well, I want to get back to, we opened the show with a portion of Work in Progress, which is a great song. And there was the lyric in that song, I'm the best I've ever been, but not the best I'll ever be on this journey to me. So talk to us about that. What inspired that? And what do you hope people who listen to it get out of it?
You know, I was really, really blessed with Work in Progress. I had a deal with my parents that I wouldn't put music out until I got my degree and all those kinds of things. They did not anticipate me getting a degree in songwriting, but you know, I found a loophole and I dove right into it. And I went to Belmont University, and all that to say, we were writing Work in Progress really coming out of my college year. So I hadn't graduated yet. And I had the very huge honor to write with Marcus Hummin, who is a songwriter and a producer and all those things. Is huge to me. I just grew up on the Dixie Chicks. The Chicks now, love them so much. And we, before Work in Progress, we just kind of talked about me a little bit and kind of my life experiences being who I am and doing what I do and all those kinds of things. And the next day we came in for a write that was specifically for me. And I kid you not, Marcus had almost every single line of the song written for Work in Progress. He was like, I was just thinking about you. And I wrote all these things down. He goes, all we're missing is a chorus. And when I read through everything that he had already, it was so easy and simple. It was just, well, I'm the best I've ever been. And I hope for the rest of my life, I am not the best that I will ever be. You know, like, I don't know what happens after perfection, but I don't think it's very exciting. So that was kind of what Work in Progress spoke to me, was just, I read all of these beautiful lines that he had written, you know, kind of introspectively about me, and they all hooked and they were all so perfect. And I just thought, just to me, just the overall thought was that chorus, you know. So the only thing I have responsibility for in Work in Progress is the chorus. And just very honored. And I just hope that people are encouraged by that. I meet women that are in their 70s and 80s who relate to Work in Progress. And I meet little girls who are 15, 16, 17 who relate to Work in Progress, and every age in between. And I just think that that is the goal, right? I think that's the premise of the whole thing, is just to always strive to be the best that you've been, but always just leave room to grow and to get better and to push yourself. And if you do that forever, I really think you're nailing it. I really think you are.
I agree. I got chills when I heard that. And, you know, I had a teacher that once said, we grow from perfection to perfection. And and Bill has a motto, it's never too late. And that
Never.
we're supposed to keep growing and challenging. It doesn't matter how old you are. So I think it is timeless.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's that, and I also think that you know, age is just a number, and for me, as the number gets bigger, it gets less significant. And I think the other piece is that when you're doing what you love to do, it's never too late or never too early to start, and that's what really launched this show. It was never too late to put something on social media that could be a source of positivity and inspiration for people. And that's why having someone like you on here is awesome, because that's exactly how I felt after listening to you talk about how that song came together. And that's the reason why we do this, is for stories like that, Allie. So thank you, you know, for sharing that. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very sweet. I think a lot of the comments that I get are, if I was your age, or when I was your age, or all of those things. And a lot of my followers, we have a saying now where you just lived. You're not 50, you're lived. You're not 14, you're lived, you know, and you're as lived as you are, you know. So it's like, you're lived. I get very, like you said, it's very frustrated with people that I love who focus too much on what that number is. It's like, you're just lived, dude. You're just lived.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, speaking of living, and if we look back at that time frame that we just talked about, and fast forward to now, through this time, since Work in Progress to where you are now, how would you describe your growth as a singer, songwriter, performer? Because you seem to be getting better every day with every song, but that's my opinion. What's yours?
If I had to put it all into one thing, I'm just bamboozled, dude. I don't reflect a lot. I'll be honest. You know, a lot of us don't, right? So we're always moving forward. We're always going to the next thing. I can think back of so many things I'm so proud of that I never celebrated. Because I already thought, well, we're already behind. You know, we've got to go. We've got to do all these things. And I looking back now, so I'm one of those really young summer birthdays. So I went to college at 17, and I left college at 21, and I graduated at 21, and I'm 26 now. And we've got an album out. We've got probably 4 or 5 singles outside of that album out. And we've worked so hard, and our shows have gotten so good. And mind you, in that time, 2 years don't count, right? No one counts midway through. No one counts 2020 and half of 21. They just don't count for any of us. We don't even remember. So I'm very proud. I'm very proud of what we've done. And I hate to say it. I hate it so much. It tastes bad in my mouth. All 3 of my parents were so right all the time. You know, they were so right. I can sing songs now at 26 that I could not sing at 25, and vice versa, you know, and just just growing my vocal as a muscle and growing me through what we just talked about by living, you know, and experiencing and traveling and meeting other people and sharing conversations just like we're having now with people. It's been so amazing. And it's catered to everything that Work in Progress says. You know, I am the best I've ever been. And it's because of all the people that I get to meet and the experiences that I get to have. And I'm just proud, man. But also when I look back at it, I'm like, how have we done literally any of this? Like who did this? This is rad. This is amazing.
Well, you know what's great about that, Allie, is that you're just doing it. You're not overthinking it. I mean, you're planning and you're implementing, but that's how people get things done. Because if you ponder it too long, then you sometimes don't take action. But I want to get back to what you were saying about, you know, your parents giving you that advice, because I'm curious, was it the vocal muscle or was it also the content that you really couldn't do justice to younger?
Probably all of those things. I know that the song for me, I was 14 and I was so mad at myself because I couldn't sing Strawberry Wine. I couldn't hit like every note that she could hit and do all the things. And I'm a very private, at least I was as a kid, I was a very private performer. I never played for my parents. I never played for anybody. I had a little spot in the barn that I would run off to that was so far away from the house because I'm so loud that I was like, even here, they can't hear me. There's no way. And I would just sing and I would sing and I would sing and I would sing. And I remember coming up to the house one day so mad at myself because I couldn't sing, you know, Strawberry Wine. And I remember my dad going, honey, she couldn't sing that song at 14 either. And as an adult now, I'm like, I'm pretty sure she was like 17 or 18 though, actually. Like in all honesty, that girl could sing. But I think it's all of those things that you're talking about. I think one is the muscle. I think two, I'm singing about subject matter that now I feel in my bones. You know what I mean? I'm not just talking about it. And there's also the amazing support that I've received over all this time from people who have no obligation to support me. And I think that was a really big thing for me, was it's very hard to listen to your parents and listen to them tell you how talented you are.
Right. And it doesn't matter how wise or successful anyone's parents are. They don't know anything from their child's point of view. I mean, that's the way it is. You know, that's just I think the rite of passage, you know. But I want to know at that age, because you said you were like 13, 14 years old when you would go and sing. Two kind of things. Was there a definitive moment when you were just like, oh, I know this is what I want to do for my life? And also what was your muse then, and is it different than what it is now?
It's so crazy. My muse has always been me, which is very scary. It's probably just as frightening as it would be to have somebody else be your muse, you know, who could leave at any moment or be taken away at any moment or whatever that case might be. But for me, it's always been Allie. And your first question, there wasn't a definitive moment ever because there was never a question for me. I remember writing songs at 8 years old. I remember singing as soon as I could do literally anything, and I was just obsessed with it. I also remember being a very insecure kid. I remember being very insecure about what I looked like and those kinds of things. And I remember the moment that it clicked for me that I can't help but feel absolutely gorgeous when I sing, that I was like, this is my thing. This is my thing that I want to do. And that I want to find a way to not only do something that I love for the rest of my life, but just provide narratives for people that maybe weren't supported before, you know, and just to provide a support in 3 minutes that you get to sit in and not think so much, you know, and just feel and experience and have somebody who doesn't know you validate the situation that you're in, whether it's a situation I've lived or not, or my co-writers have or not. It's a very, very cool honor to take on that hat to validate other people's emotions and their experiences. And that has always kind of been the kicker for me. Was there was a lot of things that I went through as a kid that no one around me could have ever understood or related to. And writing about those in a way that allowed other people to understand them and relate to them, I felt like I found a way to talk to people, you know, and to communicate. And I think for all of us, being heard and being seen isn't as easy as you would think, you know? and it makes a big deal to receive that. And so I've always been listened to when I sing, not always when I talk, but I've always been listened to when I sang. And so that made it very apparent to me as a kid, what are you going to sing about? You know, if you've got 3 minutes to be listened to, what are you going to sing about? And that's been a very big factor for me. And somehow Allie is behind all of it. I really care about her.
Oh,
I do.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, that really is. And, you know, I'll tell you, as an example of listening to you when you sing, I want to touch on your two most recent singles, Feels Like and Halos and Horns. And first time I saw the lyric video for Halos and Horns, as an amateur songwriter myself, I looked at those words and I was just floored. I was like, whoa, I wish I could do that. Wow. That was absolutely unbelievable, really was. And then I saw that, you know, in that, on those songs, you were working with Jared Neiman and Lee Bryce producing them. And I was wondering, what was that experience like working with them, but what did it feel like to see and hear those finished products? Because both are amazing singles, including the latest one, Feels Like.
It was wild. It was wild. I have to give so much props to my co-writers on those songs. So Halos and Horns was myself and Eric Dodd and Stephen Hunley. And Stephen Hunley is just one of those writers in town for me where we just click. And Eric is the same way. So Eric and I have a lot of songs together on my Stones album. And then Stephen and I had our first kind of cut together with Halos and Horns. There's a beautiful song called Wildflower on the Stones album, which I wrote with Miss Sarah Bryce, who is Lee's wife. And so that is kind of how I got paired into all of that with them. And then just one day, just kind of bucked up the nerve to call Lee and say, hey, I've got this song. It's called Halos and Horns. And it's me to a T, but it's also like a little out of my wheelhouse on how I imagine this song to be. And Lee had a couple of demos that he had played for me in the past of songs that he had been writing for the intent of Yellowstone. Whether they made it or not, I'm not sure. But all that to say, he had these songs that were gritty and they were tough and they were mean. And I was like, oh, I got one of those. I need your help. And then just by circumstance, Lee was like, well, you know, my buddy that was on all of those demos, he would really contribute to this. Do you mind if he jumps on as well? And I said, is anybody I know? Of course. And it was Jared, someone else who I'm just also a fan of, you know? And so getting to sit there and to produce these songs with Lee and Jared and just dive into what they were and see artists that are so far along and so much. And when I say better than I am, I just mean experienced. You know what I mean? I don't really compare talents, but I just mean those are some experienced people and they're so talented in the way that their brains work. So I've been this way since I moved to town. I will always be the worst in a room. I will always be the worst writer. I'll always be the worst vocalist. I'll always be the worst guitar player, because if you are surrounding yourself with people that are just exponentially more talented than you are, for lack of a better way to put it, you can't not learn. Working on those songs with them was amazing. And then Feels Like, completely different spectrum, just sweet and savory, and kind. And that was me and Kimberly Atwood. And Kimberly Atwood is one of those writers where I can go to and be like, hey, this is what I have. Will you just tell me if it makes sense? And so Kimberly sat with me on that day of a song of all childhood memories that you somehow put into a love song and it's not creepy. She really validated all of those things for me with Feels Like. And then having, again, just sitting in that studio and hearing the sounds that we were putting on Halos and Horns, and then hearing the sounds that we were putting on Feels Like, if I could relive a season of my life, I would do that forever. But fortunately, I know I've got more of them coming. You know, I'm going to make those guys work with me again, one way or the other. They have to. One, they're my buds, but two, we've got more music to put out. But when you talk about final product, holy cow, was I and am I proud? Yes. Yes.
We talked a lot about songwriting and collaborating, and what we'd like to do, if you don't mind, is maybe try to have a little fun and see if you could collaborate with us on some ideas that we had, maybe as potential phrases that could be a hit song somewhere down the road. Now, the road for one of these options might be a little longer than the other road, I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
But Not that I'm trying to slant you.
Hey, Allie, you know what that was? That was
It was, but I'm ready for it. Let's go.
So anyway, I'm going to defer to my partner to give you her phrase, and then I'll share mine. And if you think either one,
no, I'm sharing them all.
Oh, you're going.
What do I do with these phrases? Or do I just
grab your guitar? Grab your guitar.
Okay. This is Betsy. Say hi to Betsy.
Hi, Betsy.
She's a good egg.
Okay, so we actually have 3 phrases. I added one. I'm surprising Bill too.
Wow.
Okay, so Bill's is the first one. And it goes like this. Now, this is just a phrase, an idea. And what we want you to do is pick one of them, or you can do all 3, whatever you want to do. And see if you can like come up with a little melody or a little hook or verse or something, whatever you want to do, whatever the muse inspires. Okay. The first one, sparkly boots and a cat named Prissy.
Jeez Louise.
Number 2.
Jeez. Number 2, let's hear it.
That wasn't Bill's, by the way. I'm taking back my heart, packing up my car, and heading straight into the arms of your brother.
Yes.
Number 3. Yeah. Like that one's a scorned lover song.
I like it.
And the last one is kind of a heartbroken song. Warm beer, a cold heart, and a dog named Zeus. No, I'm kidding. Warm beer and a cold heart.
You got what kind of lifeline do you have with a dog named Zeus, my man, that just put that look on your face?
I just did that because I had a cat named Prissy in the first one. I wanted to get a rise out of Bill. You know, I wanted that look of shock on his face.
I just wanted simplicity. Warm beer.
That I tampered with a warm beer and a cold heart. So now I put it back to what it's supposed to say.
Okay, so remind me what the brother one is.
Okay, I'm taking back my heart, packing up my car, and heading straight into the arms of your brother. And you don't have to say it exactly like that. But
I got you. I think we can do something here, you guys. It's gonna be mad though. What's it gonna be? Well, I've been looking all over this house and I found what I've been worried about. You got sparkly boots underneath your bed and a bra that's painted red, and I ain't got a cat. What's up with that? So I'm packing up my heart and I'm driving down the street. You made the choice you made, that ain't up with me, so I'm running back. All the mistakes you had, and I know your mother. But I'm going to your brother. The mother thing killed it, but I got the first 2 ideas in there, right?
No, you only had to pick one, but we love that. I
know,
brilliant.
You give me a challenge of a challenge. I want to do all 3 of them.
Okay.
The only thing I had was you better pray to Zeus, but that's all I could
Zeus
remember
is gone. Zeus
one.
wasn't even a part of it. Allie, that was unbelievable.
Boo, baby.
First of all, I love the bluesy, sultry feel. You were amazing.
Oh, you got to go sultry if you're leaving a guy for his brother. You have
That's
to.
right. You got Bill is speechless, and that's saying something.
Thank you. That's fun. So when I was younger, there was one person I ever played anything for, and I played her all my songs all the time. I played her anything. It's my best friend Emily. She's still my best friend, and we would do this at night when we would, on our sleepovers, on our all-nighters, all those things that we would do. We would sit there, and she would just get this stinking look on her face, and she'd go, "You want to write a song?" I'd be like, "What do you got?" And she would just throw scenarios at me all the time, and then I would just go for it. And my very first song I ever wrote on guitar came from something like that, and I still play it to this day. And that kind of stuff is fun.
Well, I'll tell you something. When you threw in the sparkly boots under the bed and the bra painted red. I was like, holy smokes, like that could be a legitimate song.
It could
Like,
be.
we were
I
kidding
couldn't get
around,
Chrissy in there, and I refused to. But
no,
still.
you don't need to. You don't. That was again. That was me just like having fun, you know. But that was.
I like that.
I that was like one of my favorite things ever.
Yes.
Same here. Absolutely. So, and thank you so much for that. That really was awesome. And I really was speechless. That was not an act. I just, I had no words.
Good. In the middle of it, I was in my head, I was like, how good is everybody else they've had on here who did this? Because geez, Louise, this is a little tough, but I like
Oh my
it.
God.
I like
you.
stuff.
No, that was if we had a trophy, which we may have to come up with, you'd be holding it.
It better be a skeleton.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
okay.
Now you just gave us an idea.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You go. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Well, we are having so much fun. Before we leave, Allie, what do you have coming up? Where can fans see you, and what do you want them to know?
We are going into like Christmas, right? And that kind of thing. So my year is basically over with. I get to write for the rest of the year and do that kind of stuff. We've got some releases that we're going to do in 2023, but we don't have dates on them. So, I mean, really the biggest thing that helps us these days as artists is just those numbers. So if you got a TikTok, if you got an Instagram, if you got Facebook, all of that stuff, please just give me a follow, check out some of the content, see if you like it. And then just follow me for future updates on what we are going into. But we're kind of going into our dead part of the year, and I'm just going to start writing for next year and enjoy myself and take some time for myself. So I just really appreciate you guys giving me time on your platform and promoting my music and just caring enough to find out a little bit about me. I really, really appreciate it, you guys.
Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. Folks, you've got to follow Allie. Follow Allie. That's your assignment. That's your mission. Yeah. If you choose to accept it, and follow us while you're at it. And we look forward to everything that you've got coming up, Allie, because you are a true artist.
Thank you
and
very much.
So talented. And thank you. And we're going to end the show with one of your songs. So folks, thanks for tuning in. Allie Colleen. We'll see you next week.
I'm a Sunday morning sinner in a white church, on my knees praying till it hurts in the back row with all the other lost souls. I'm a double shot of whiskey in a dive bar, a cowboy looking for a wild card I can take home. For the sun I'm long gone, boiling hot and freezing cold, holding on and letting go, and I don't know why. I can't pick a side. I'm a surefire bet, I'm a long side gambler. Easy to love, but I'm hard to handle now. I'm an angel mixed with a hell-bent rebel, got a heart of gold, I'm a silver-tongued devil, and I don't know why. I'm always torn between the halo and the I'm an 8-second rider trying to make it last, a long haul trucker trying to get there fast like a dust cloud. Only see me on my way out. Tougher than the leather in the Bible belt, softer than the petals of a mission bell. I'll make your blood burn, and you'll like it when